Hello, YouTube. So, my name is Clayton Bridges, and for the next 30 days, I am going to be doing a 30-day challenge where I upload a video every day for the next month. So, today is November 1st. Today is November 1st, and I will be uploading all the way until November 30th every day. The purpose of this is so that you can get to know me as a creator and as a person, just so I can share a bunch of stuff about me from different angles over the next 30 days. So I want to experiment with some stuff too. Part of the purpose is to get me kind of used to some of my equipment. So I want to try like a webcam one on my laptop only, maybe one where I edit entirely from my phone. I want to do a video for each game that I play. I want to talk about my cars because those are some things that I'm interested in. Just as a little bit of an introduction, my name is Clayton Bridges. I am 24 years old. I live in America, as you can tell from my accent. I'm a huge gearhead. I love cars. I was a mechanic for 2 years. So I just completed my Associates of Applied Science going through a local community college for automotive technology, which is pretty cool. Right out of high school, I went to another community college for about a year and a half and ended up dropping out because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I knew I really loved cars, so I went ahead and enrolled in that. Out of high school, I didn't get very good grades. My GPA was low. I didn't have any options, so I went to community college to get a general ed associate's. Frankly, it didn't work out. I wasn't into school. I had no purpose. And for me, anytime I don't see the point in doing anything, it makes it nearly impossible for me to actually do. And so it just didn't work out. So I actually worked for a company moving furniture for a while. Prior to that, I was actually a dishwasher, and then I moved up to a cook. So I cooked for a while. I actually found out that I really enjoy cooking. I've always been a picky eater, and so working in a restaurant really exposed me to a lot of new foods that I wouldn't have tried otherwise. And so it was a really good experience for me to do that, and I'm really glad that I did that. And now I feel like I have a base for at least knowing a little bit about cooking, making things tasting a little more interesting than like what I would have known, and my appetite grew. Now I'm pretty much willing to try anything, which absolved my picky eating, which is cool. And then after that, I worked at a company. Basically, I operated a forklift. I operated something called a stock picker, which is just like a flatbed lift, and I would manually put the furniture on top of the lift and then go put it away in the racks, grab it for customers, and that kind of thing. And so honestly, it was a very monotonous job, which is really terrible for me. I'm really bad at repetition. It doesn't suit my creative side very well. It really sucks for me. After that, my friend and I actually applied to a local community college. We wanted to pursue the automotive industry. We didn't know a whole lot about the automotive industry, if I'm being honest. We learned a lot just from talking to the instructors of the program before we ever applied. Long story short, we joined and we loved it. We both did really well. I just finished up. It was a really great experience. We learned a lot, met new people. We kind of established ourselves. We got a really good idea of what we're good at and what we like and don't like. However, recently I've had sort of a change of heart where it's not that I don't love working on cars, and it's not that I don't love cars in general, but working on cars for 40 to 50 hours a week, I mean, it sucks. Let's be real. And if you love it and you're all about it, that's great. Because frankly, I was too for a while, and I did get tainted for about a year. It's been since August now, so almost half a year, but I worked at this place for a year, and it was totally toxic. Just really a place I couldn't do well in. And I think part of that has a lot to do with it. But at the same time, you look at all of the other tradesmen that have been doing it for a long time, and you kind of realize, these guys are really beat up. And it depends on the individual. Some people take care of themselves, but a lot of these guys are just beat up. Honestly, a lot of them are very miserable and frankly underpaid. Not to mention the future of automotive is changing rapidly. I'm not saying that there won't be a demand for that kind of work, but I don't know if it'll be something that I'm interested in. And of course, I'm thinking way too far ahead, but I am young, and there's a lot of other things I'm frankly interested in. And so I would really like to give other things a try. And I mean, I feel like, at 24 years old, this is the time to float around a little bit. But at the same time, I also believe that in my 20s, this is a really important time for me to lay a really good foundation for the future. And to be perfectly honest with you, I want something that's a little higher paying than the automotive industry. And ultimately, I don't want to say, and just more satisfying for me personally. Besides that, I also really like computers. So I like gaming. I've played video games for ever since my dad gave me his old Game Boy. I didn't even know what a Game Boy was. I didn't know what a video game was. He was like, maybe you would like a video game. I was like, what's a video game? And he handed me an old Game Boy. I'm like, okay, this is weird. And yeah, the rest is history. So, but anyway, I built my first gaming computer just a couple years ago, fully transferred to PC gaming. I had always been a Mac user. Terrible, but transferred over that. I've had, PlayStations, Xboxes, Game Boys, PS2s, had a Wii at one point. So anyway, the main focus is PC gaming now, and so this channel is definitely going to contain some gaming stuff. As you can see, it already has, as well as car stuff. Recently, I've been getting a lot into financial education, and I think it's really important, and there's a lot of misconceptions about money that I felt I had fallen into, as well as many other people, whereas money is evil and greed is rampant, which may or may not be true. I look at money as an energy, and I just kind of came to the realization that money does have a lot of power, and I think it's really important to pay attention to it. So I've been trying to increase my financial education. Basically, financial independence is my goal. I would like to be financially independent to the point where I can live the kind of life I want to live. And, I can play around with cars, I can play around with computers and gaming, have a nice future for my, spouse and kids in the future, hopefully. And, just have a nice life, basically. And so I've really shifted a lot of focus on that. Additionally, I really like art too. It's kind of in my blood. A lot of people in my family are really creative and into art. I've always looked at my sense of art a little more untraditional. Not that I'm super crazy, but my form of art tends to take a three-dimensional focus, which is I think why I like modifying cars, because I can build a little machine. I like creating machines, building computers, like this desk I made. I mean, those things aren't necessarily art, but I've always been into sculpting as well, and that kind of three-dimensional art. I've had an interest in videography and photography, and YouTube is a really awesome creative outlet for me. All of those things kind of come together, and honestly, they're solidifying as of recently. But another thing I really like is writing. I haven't done a whole lot of creative writing, which I would like to, as far as I guess poetry, but also just playing with words. I think there's a lot of interesting ways to play with words other than poetry and just writing stories. I have a blog which you can check out. The link is in the description below. It's just under my name. There's a lot of creative outlets I want to explore. And so YouTube and my blog allow me to do that. And it's a really awesome platform for me. And, I want to bring attention to it, I guess. And hopefully we're going to get to know each other a little more. I want to get more in touch with you guys, the viewers, just because, it's important. I mean, that's what the point of social media and everything is to interact. The next 30 days are going to be fun and interesting, I hope. And again, the goal is just for, I guess, my subscribers or anybody wanting to know what I'm up to get to know me a little better, as well as a challenge to fast track my progress so I can get better with what I have to work with as far as camera equipment, get better at editing, get better at SEO, and all that kind of stuff. It's practice, essentially. But at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to continue watching the journey, hit that subscribe button and leave a like or comment. Let me know what you think, and thank you. I will see you around.